coming to sit in a comfortable position, making your spine nice and long, bringing the backs of the hands against the knees perhaps, and connecting with your breath. Closing the eyes, taking a nice deep inhale, and releasing any tension that you may have on the exhale. And again, breathe in nice and deep, and release. Trying to make your exhale double the amount of your inhale. So if you're inhaling in 4 counts, try and exhale in 6 or 8 counts. Nice and gently tilting your chin forward first and then down towards the chest. And drawing some nice slow semicircles. Perhaps bringing one ear closer to one shoulder, and then the other ear closer to the other shoulder. Allowing your head to do the full circle, but watch out not to go too far back. And whatever you do on the right side, you repeat on the left. Nice and slowly, bringing your right arm onto the mat, stretching it out. Inhale, lift up the left arm, and exhale, change sides. Placing the hand perhaps facing up, letting that elbow come down onto the mat. Inhaling when the arm comes up, and exhaling, switching over to the other side. This time, bringing your right elbow down onto the mat, palm of the hand facing up. Inhale, reach out and back with that left arm, and then swoop forward in a circular motion. Inhale when you're opening that arm back. Exhale when you're coming down to close. And coming back into center, stretching out the legs, and beginning to lie down. Placing the feet directly under the knees. Inhale, lift up the hips. Exhale, roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. Keeping the hands by your sides. Inhale, come up. Exhale, roll down. And now bringing the feet out a little bit, having the heels on the ground, toes pointing up. And again, hands placed by your sides. Inhale, lift up the hips. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, down. And once again, distancing the feet even more from the glute. Once more, inhale up. Exhale, down. And hugging the knees to the chest, rolling side to side, and doing a few rock and roll movements to massage the spine, and trying to come up directly into a squat position. Don't worry if you can't. Just coming to stretch out and hug the backs of the legs. Bending the knees on an impulse. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands come down. And again, inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend the elbows. Lift the chest up to the sky. One more time, inhale. Rolling all the way down into Uttanasana, connecting the hands with the feet if you can. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back with both legs. Chaturanga, coming down as straight as you can and coming down onto the mat. Placing the hands by your sides, feet together. Inhale, lift up chest, arms and legs. Exhale, come down. as high as you can. And a few more times. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come down. Placing the hands just underneath the shoulders, keeping the pelvis on the ground, elbows tucked in, lifting up into cobra, and rolling back down. Bending that right knee, letting that left knee hold in place on that right foot. With a big deep breath, push, straighten the arms and come up. Exhale, come down. Keep the elbows in nice and tight. And again, feet together, pelvis on the ground, coming up into cobra. Exhale into child's pose. And now coming back onto all fours, stretching out that right leg and that left arm. Inhale, come up. Exhale, keeping the arm and leg as high as you can, bringing them out to the side. Tucking the feet, coming into down dog. Lifting that right leg without opening up the hip. Knee to chest and sliding that right leg at about 90 degrees, coming into a pigeon pose. Inhale up, exhale, chest comes down. And a few more times. Inhale up, exhale down, and stay down this time. Connecting with your breath, again releasing any tension that you may have with each exhale. And nice and slowly coming back into a tall plank position. Chaturanga coming down nice and straight and completely coming all the way down to the mat. Opening up the elbows to 90 degrees, bringing the feet together. Inhale, lifting only the chest and the arms. Exhale, coming down. And a few more times. Inhale, really lifting up. Exhale, come down. Engaging the glutes, using those back muscles to really lift up the chest and the arms. Coming back into a cobra pose. Inhale up, exhale come down, bending that left knee, having that right knee hold in place just above that left foot. Pushing up with the arms nice and straight. Inhale, exhale come down. Keeping those elbows tucked in, coming up into a controlled cobra position. Exhale, come back into child's pose. And now coming back onto all fours. And once again, reaching out with that left arm and that right leg. Inhale, reach out, exhale, bringing the limbs out to 90 degrees. And back onto hands and knees. Lifting the knees, coming up into tall plank, chaturanga coming down. Upward facing dog into downward facing dog. And now we're going to get the elbows to drop down onto the mat. And then pushing with the hands, straightening out the elbows. It's okay if you can't do both elbows at the same time. Just do one and then alternate with the leading hand, and gently letting those elbows come back down onto the mat, perhaps walking those feet in a little bit without letting your head come down onto the mat, coming into a high dolphin, and then walking back into a low plank. Once again, walking in, high dolphin, and walking back into low plank. Suck that belly button in. Try and keep the shoulders aligned above the elbows as best you can. Letting those knees drop down to the ground, coming back into child's pose. Nice and gently coming into a downward facing dog. Lifting up that right leg. Bending the knee, pointing the knee to the sky and opening up that hip, doing a few circles with that ankle. Gently bringing in the knee to the chest and placing a big step forward. Lowering that left knee to the ground. Joining the hands together, inhaling up in Chandrasana. Exhaling, hands come down. Aligning that left heel with that right foot and left arm comes up, coming up into a warrior two position. That left arm just behind the back, placing it on the hip or on the thigh if you can reach. Inhale. Exhale, coming back into warrior two, arms in line with the shoulders and bringing the hips to face forward, coming into a warrior one position. That left leg takes a big step forward, coming into Utkatasana, chair position. Try and suck that belly button in and keep that back nice and straight, arms in line with the ears, and nice and gently bringing that right foot up, grabbing the foot with the right hand and reaching the leg up as high as you can without lowering the chest. Hold and taking a big step back with that right leg, aligning the heels, coming into a dancing warrior position here, flexing that right hand and reaching over to the left side of your body. Try and gaze at that right hand if you can, and coming back into that dancing warrior. Again, doing this dynamically through the dancing warrior and then placing that left hand in line with the leg. Both arms come down to the ground, taking a big step back, high plank, Chaturanga, coming down, upward facing dog, into downward facing dog. Coming up with that left leg, pointing that left knee to the sky and doing a few circles with that left ankle. Bringing the knee into the chest and taking a big step forward. Aligning the ankle just below the knee. Hands together, arms in line with the ears, inhaling, coming up into a half moon pose. Exhale, coming down, having that right foot open up and coming up into a warrior two position. That right arm now reaches behind the back over to the thigh if it can, and left arm overhead in line with the ear. Coming back into a warrior two position and sliding those hips forward, readjusting that right foot at a 30-degree angle. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, big step forward, coming back into Utkatasana, chair position. Again, sucking that belly button in, trying not to arch your back. Perhaps look at a fixed spot to try and help the balance. Bringing that left foot towards the glute, reaching for that foot with the left arm, and gently raising that left knee, taking a big step back with that left foot, and again coming into a warrior two position, getting ready for that dancing warrior. And bringing that right arm down in line behind the right knee, left arm comes up, and again, dancing warrior. One more time. Finally, both hands down on the mat, sliding that right leg back, Chaturanga, upward facing dog, into downward facing dog. Left leg comes up, sliding that left leg all the way forward into a 90-degree angle if possible. Inhaling here, exhaling, come down. Two more times, coming into that pigeon pose. Making sure that right knee is nice and stretched out on the mat. And coming down as low as you can. Remember to connect with your breath. Again, pushing the hands back onto the mat, taking a big step back into high plank. Once again, Chaturanga, upward facing dog into downward facing dog. Taking a big step forward with both legs. Inhale 90 degrees, exhale forward fold. And gently bending the knees and coming to sit without using your hands if you can. And lying down. Bringing the arms back overhead, keeping the knees bent, feet on the mat. Sliding the arms down by your sides, keeping the feet on the mat, knees bent. Inhale, reaching the arms up overhead with the hips coming up. Exhale, rolling down vertebrae by vertebrae and bringing the arms down back by your sides. And 2 more times. Inhale, lift up hips and arms. Exhale, slide arms down, bending the elbows. And here, coming into a half bridge position, keeping the feet just under the knees, lifting up the hips and having those hands come in just underneath the coccyx. Perhaps bringing one or both legs up, seeing if you can hold it here for just a little bit, bringing the feet back down onto the mat. Perhaps joining the hands underneath the back and arching a little bit more, seeing if that chest can come up towards the chin, and gently coming back down. On an inhale, lifting the legs up to 90 degrees, and on the next inhalation, reach all the way up, holding the lower part of your back, coming into a nice shoulder stand, keeping the elbows on the mat, holding on to the lower part of your back, just having that right leg out as straight as you can, coming down behind your head. Don't worry if you can't touch the mat or the floor behind you. You can leave the leg at 90 degrees and trying with the left side. If you can, try with both sides, aiming to have both legs out as straight as possible. If this is easy for you, bringing the hands together behind the back and pushing the hands into the mat. And noticing if you can handle a deeper stretch in the neck area, please do be careful as this is rather intense, bending the knees towards the ears. The knees do not have to come down to the mat. And once you feel that that's been enough, stretching out the legs again. Perhaps trying to see if you can grab your toes, or simply just staying in the position that's most comfortable for you. Holding on to the back, once again bringing the legs up into 90 degrees and gently rolling down vertebrae by vertebrae to come back down onto the mat. Separating the heels from one another and separating the hands from the rest of the body, coming into a nice Shavasana. Closing the eyes and releasing all of the weight of the body with each exhalation. Nice and gently wiggling the fingers and the toes, awakening the body nice and slow, bringing the knees to the chest and perhaps swaying right and left a little bit. Finally, coming back into a seated position. Closing the eyes, connecting with the breath once again. Bringing the hands together in front of the heart, lowering the head towards the heart, and giving yourself a positive thought. Grateful for your body for having done everything that it just did. Namaste.